Overnight tornadoes are possible tonight across the Mid-South, the most dangerous kind because they strike when people are sleeping and cannot see them coming. And warning lead times shrink to almost nothing in the dark. The same cold front that produced devastating damage in Iowa and Illinois is now racing southeast, and it is carrying warm sector dew points in the upper 60s that meteorologists are calling extraordinary for the first week of April. The Climate Prediction Center has issued a high risk of excessive rainfall for April 10th and 11th, a designation so rare for this far ahead that it signals the meteorological community already has very high confidence in next weekend's major flood event. 3 separate emergencies on the same national map tonight: an after-dark tornado threat from Memphis to St. Louis, a blizzard burying Minnesota and Wisconsin, and a 10-day storm pattern that both major models agree is going to keep reloading all the way through mid-April. Stick with us, because when we get to the Mid-South cities, that is when tonight's overnight tornado threat gets its full breakdown, and it involves a window from midnight to 5 a.m. that you absolutely need to be awake for. Here is the big picture for tonight into Sunday morning. The cold front that ripped through Iowa and Missouri is now racing east and southeast, dragging a loaded warm sector with it, and the most dangerous part of this event is what happens after dark. The primary threat tonight is after-dark tornadoes embedded in a fast-moving squall-line storms that wrap their rotation in heavy rain, making them impossible to see visually, striking communities while most residents are asleep in bed. The overnight target zone includes eastern Missouri, southern Illinois, western Kentucky, western Tennessee including the Memphis metro, and northern Arkansas. Temperatures ahead of the line are still holding in the upper 60s to mid-70s, plenty of fuel for the atmosphere to work with well after midnight. Here is why overnight tornadoes are so much more dangerous than afternoon ones. The low-level jet strengthens after dark. Wind shear increases, and there is zero sunlight to help you see rotation or a funnel approaching your location. The storms tonight are also transitioning from discrete supercells into a linear squall line. And even though linear storms are less tornado efficient, an embedded twister in a squall line at 2 a.m. is one of the most dangerous scenarios in severe weather because nobody is watching for it. Straight line winds in tonight's squall line can exceed 70 miles per hour, enough to rip roofs off houses, snap large trees, and take out power across broad areas without a tornado ever touching the ground. The wind alone tonight is a serious hazard. The National Weather Service has issued an urgent recommendation: keep your weather radio or phone alerts turned on with the volume up before you go to sleep tonight. If a tornado warning goes out between midnight and 5 a.m., you need to be woken up by that alarm. A retired school teacher in Memphis said she keeps her weather radio right on her nightstand every spring because she learned years ago that outdoor sirens cannot always wake you through closed windows at 3 a.m. That is exactly the right lesson for tonight. Straight talk if you live in a mobile home anywhere from Memphis through western Kentucky, southern Illinois, or northern Arkansas tonight. Find your nearest solid shelter right now before you go to sleep. A mobile home offers almost no protection from straight-line winds above 60 miles per hour, let alone a tornado. Now, hold this thought as we go through the city roundup. Easter Sunday brings a surprise tornado risk to a major East Coast corridor that most people have not been warned about yet. That full breakdown lands when we hit those cities. Pulling back to the 10-day picture now. And here's the kicker: both the European and GFS models are in exceptional agreement that this active April pattern does not wrap up after Easter weekend. The atmosphere is going to keep reloading throughout the month, and that is not a small thing. The same upper-level low driving tonight's severe weather is simultaneously hammering the northern branch with heavy snow eastern Montana. Wyoming, the Dakotas, Minnesota, and northern Wisconsin are all dealing with serious accumulation tonight and through the weekend. One system, 2 completely different disasters. Here is what makes this week's rainfall so extraordinary. Near-record precipitation rates of up to 1.8 inches per hour have already been recorded in the hardest-hit areas. That is the kind of rainfall rate that causes flash flooding faster than most people can react or get to safety. And then there is next weekend, which is already being flagged with that rare Climate Prediction Center high-risk designation for April 10th and 11th. The moderate risk zone extends from North Texas through Oklahoma, Kansas, And into the Midwest, a very large footprint for a very high confidence flood event. Beyond April 10th and 11th, models show another significant storm setup developing around April 12th through 14th for the southern plains and Midwest, meaning this entire region is looking at back-to-back major storm weekends with almost no break in between. Good grief. This April is running hot. All right, let's go city by city, moving fast through every region when we hit the Mid-South cities. The overnight tornado breakdown lands. Listen for your town. Starting in the Northeast, where today is a genuinely pleasant Saturday for most folks. Washington, D.C. at 77 degrees with warm sunshine and beautiful spring conditions. Baltimore at 76 and Philadelphia at 71 and mostly sunny. No severe weather concerns across the Northeast today. Enjoy it while it lasts. New York City at 69 degrees with some light showers mixing in through the afternoon. Boston at 65 under mostly cloudy skies. And Providence, Rhode Island at 63 with a breezy wind off the water. These Northeast cities are sitting in the warm sector today, which means Sunday's cold front brings their weather story tomorrow. Northern New England and inland Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania at 67, Buffalo at 54, Rochester at 55, and Portland, Maine at 52 with occasional showers. These areas watch for isolated showers and a stray thunderstorm. Sunday, as the cold front pushes through, check Sunday's forecast if you have outdoor Easter plans on the schedule. Mid-Atlantic Corridor, Baltimore at 76 degrees and gorgeous. Richmond, Virginia at 76 with full sunshine. Norfolk, Virginia at 75 with a nice ocean breeze. Chesapeake at 73 and Virginia Beach at 75 with pleasant coastal conditions. The entire Mid-Atlantic is warm, dry, and beautiful today, the calm before Sunday's cold front arrival. Newark, New Jersey at 70, Jersey City at 69, and Charlotte, North Carolina at 79, with warm sunshine all sitting comfortably ahead of Sunday's approaching system. These Mid-Atlantic and Carolina cities watch for Sunday afternoon storms as the cold front sweeps through. And that is when the surprise tornado risk comes into play. The Southeast is absolutely gorgeous today. Y'all, Florida is winning the weather lottery this Easter weekend. Miami at 87 degrees and blazing. Orlando at 89, Jacksonville at 84, and New Orleans, Louisiana at 84 under clear blue skies. If you are spending Easter weekend in Florida, you flat out hit the jackpot. Atlanta, Georgia at 82 today has scattered afternoon thunderstorms possible by early evening, and Atlanta sits right in Sunday's storm corridor as well. Raleigh at 80 and Durham at 78 with warm sunshine today. But both cities watch for storms moving in Sunday afternoon as that cold front arrives. Here is the thing that hits different about tonight's national map. Miami is at 87 degrees enjoying a perfect Easter Saturday, while Memphis is bracing for overnight tornadoes and Minneapolis is buried under a winter storm warning at 33. One country, one Saturday night. Three completely different weather emergencies at the same time. Moving through the Gulf Coast and Mid-South Baton Rouge at 83 with sunshine. Houston, Texas at 83, San Antonio at 82. Austin at 80 with clear skies. And Dallas at 77. The Gulf Coast is having a great Saturday, but move north and the atmosphere tells a very different story. Tennessee and Kentucky. Nashville at 73 degrees with gusty storm conditions developing through the afternoon and evening. And Louisville, Kentucky at 68 with scattered showers moving through. Little Rock, Arkansas at 75 degrees is already watching the storm line. Approach from the west northern Arkansas is inside tonight's after dark tornado risk zone. Memphis, Tennessee sits at 75 degrees right now under increasingly stormy skies, and Memphis is directly inside the overnight tornado risk corridor for tonight. If you're in the Memphis metro area tonight, your weather alerts need to be turned on with the volume up before you put your head down. No exceptions. Right here, this is the moment I told you about. Eastern Missouri, southern Illinois, western Kentucky, and western Tennessee are the most dangerous zones tonight for embedded tornado rotation. These storms arrive wrapped in heavy rain between 1 and 5 a.m. when visibility is 0 and most people are asleep. St. Louis, Missouri at 66 degrees right now is in the path of the fast-moving squall line pushing through tonight's straight-line winds capable of exceeding 70 miles per hour, and embedded tornado rotation are both on the table. Kansas City at 67 is watching this system carefully through the late evening hours. A storm spotter in western Tennessee with 18 years in the field told us the middle of the night window is his biggest concern. The low-level jet is running strong and warm. Sector temperatures are staying elevated. His advice, if you hear that alert, move immediately. Do not look outside first. Oklahoma City at 71 degrees and Tulsa at 69 are still dealing with lingering storm activity from yesterday's system, with additional heavy rain and severe storm potential through the evening. Oklahoma City also sits under a flood watch tonight as already saturated ground cannot absorb another round of heavy rainfall at anywhere near normal rates. Wichita, Kansas at 68 in the active severe weather zone with severe thunderstorm watch conditions, dew points in the low to mid 60s. More than enough moisture to power significant storms today. Indianapolis, Indiana at 61 is watching for after-dark tornado potential as the squall line pushes east. Have your shelter plan ready before bedtime. Chicago, Illinois at 56 with gusty winds up to 30 miles per hour and heavy rain. A more organized storm threat arrives overnight. Detroit at 49, Columbus, Ohio at 57, and Cincinnati at 59 all sit in the marginal risk zone for Sunday storm activity continuing east across the Ohio Valley. Des Moines, Iowa at 53 and Omaha, Nebraska at 51 are both watching the storm risk tail end through the overnight hours as the system exits northeast. Lincoln, Nebraska at 52 with gusty cold winds building that cold sector from the northwest is exactly what drops temperatures 20 to 30 degrees by Sunday morning. Burn this into your memory tonight. The window between midnight and 5 a.m. across the Mid-South and Mississippi Valley is the most dangerous part of this entire event. That is when the after-dark tornado threat peaks, when most people are asleep, and when warning lead times matter most. Set that alarm. Keep that alert on. Northern Plains Winter Zone. Minneapolis at 33 under a winter storm warning with heavy wet snow and ice accumulation ongoing. St. Paul at 34 in similar conditions, and Fargo, North Dakota buried under late-season heavy snowfall with fierce wind gusts. This is not a light dusting. It is a serious late-season winter event. Milwaukee, Wisconsin at 36 under an active ice storm warning. Madison at 37 with freezing rain coating every surface. And Green Bay dealing with the heaviest ice accumulation in the state. Communities that already lost power earlier this week are facing another round of potential outages from ice loading on already weakened trees and power infrastructure. The snow and ice extending into the UP of Michigan and toward northern New England is being fed by the same upper-level low driving tonight's severe weather to the south. One storm system producing snow, ice, tornadoes, and flooding simultaneously. That is April in America when the atmosphere decides to run the show. Mountain West Denver, Colorado at 49 with clear skies and cool conditions. Colorado Springs at 47 and Cheyenne, Wyoming at 43 with persistent gusty winds. Boise, Idaho at 59 and Seattle, Washington at 51 with overcast skies and drizzle, both states quiet, while the central and southern United States manages something entirely different tonight. Let's wrap the city roundup with the southwest and west coast, where tonight looks like a completely different country. Phoenix is baking at 91 degrees. Las Vegas is at 86, and California is having a gorgeous Saturday, while much of the Midwest and Mid-South prepares for a very serious overnight weather situation. Desert, Southwest Phoenix, Arizona at 91 hot, dry, and sunny. Exactly what you sign up for in Phoenix in April. Tucson at 88, Mesa at 89, Scottsdale at 89, Chandler at 87, and Glendale at 88 with blazing sunshine and rock-bottom humidity. Las Vegas, Nevada at 86, classic desert Saturday. No complaints. California, Los Angeles at 73 with warm sunshine. San Diego at 69 and gorgeous. San Francisco at 61 with morning fog burning off. Sacramento at 71, San Jose at 66, Oakland at 64, Fresno at 73, and Riverside at 74 degrees. California is having a very pleasant spring Saturday with nothing extreme happening out there. Pacific Northwest Seattle at 51 with overcast skies. Portland, Oregon at 55 with light afternoon rain. Tacoma at 51 and Spokane at 49 with clouds building. Honolulu, Hawaii at 83 with sunshine and trade winds. Anchorage, Alaska at 34 with light snow flurries. That is your full national picture. For Easter Sunday, April 6th, here is the good news. The cold front sweeps east through the morning and afternoon. High pressure builds behind it, bringing a genuine dry out for most of the central United States by Sunday afternoon, after 72-plus hours of active weather. The Midwest has earned that quiet. Here is the surprise most people have not been warned about. Easter Sunday is not calm for the Carolinas, Virginia, and Maryland. These areas are in the path of the cold front through the morning and afternoon hours, with a marginal risk of severe weather and an isolated tornado possibility along the frontal boundary. Atlanta, Georgia, at 82 today, faces Sunday's storm line with a marginal severe weather risk. Temperatures could drop from the low 80s to the 60s as the cold front sweeps through. A 20-degree temperature crash in one afternoon. And it will feel like a completely different month by Sunday night. Behind the front for most of the Midwest and Plains on Easter Sunday, temperatures drop sharply into the 40s and 50s. Skies clear, and high pressure delivers genuinely pleasant and quiet conditions. That cool, calm Easter afternoon is well earned after what this region has been through since Thursday. Monday, April 7th. Begins a 4 to 5 day quiet stretch for much of the central United States as high pressure dominates and the atmosphere takes a breather. Pleasant temperatures in the 50s and 60s. Lower humidity, mostly clear skies, a real break that the Plains and Midwest genuinely need after this week. Now here is where next weekend gets important, and I need you to pay close attention. Both the European and GFS models are in rock-solid agreement on a major storm system targeting Oklahoma, North Texas, and the Southern Plains on April 10th and 11th, and the confidence level here is already very high. The Climate Prediction Center does not issue high risk of excessive rainfall designations a full week out unless the signal is exceptionally strong, and they just did it for April 10th and 11th if you are in Oklahoma, North Texas, or Kansas. Start your flood preparedness planning right now. Straight talk. Beyond April 10th and 11th, another potential severe weather setup is developing around April 12th through 14th for the same region, meaning the Southern Plains and Midwest are looking at essentially back-to-back major storm weekends. This April is running at an extraordinary pace, and it is not slowing down anytime soon. Tonight's action plan. And this one is urgent if you are in eastern Missouri, southern Illinois, western Kentucky, western Tennessee, or northern Arkansas. Turn on your weather radio or phone alerts before you go to sleep and do not turn them off. The after dark tornado window is midnight to 5 a.m. For the flood threat across Oklahoma and North Texas tonight, the ground is already saturated and more heavy rain is coming. Turn around, do not drown, do yourself a solid, and check your route before you drive anywhere in those areas tonight. Flash flooding moves faster than most people expect. For anyone in the winter storm zone across Minnesota, Wisconsin, and the UP of Michigan, stay home tonight if you can. Charge all your devices and stage candles and flashlights before this evening. The ice loading is back on those trees and power lines, and the grid is already stressed from earlier this week. For Easter Sunday outdoor plans across the Carolinas, Virginia, and Maryland, the cold front arrives through the morning and afternoon with storm activity and a tornado risk. Have a backup indoor plan for Easter gatherings. Nobody wants a tornado warning at Easter dinner. Good grief. Check Sunday morning's forecast before committing to anything outside. For next weekend, April 10th and 11th, if you are in Oklahoma, North Texas, or Kansas, this is not too early to start thinking about flood preparedness. By next Thursday, this conversation gets urgent. The Climate Prediction Center's high-risk designation tells you everything you need to know about the confidence level. If this forecast is useful to you tonight, share it right now with someone in Memphis, St. Louis, Western Kentucky, or Southern Illinois. Folks in those communities need to know about the overnight tornado risk before they go to sleep. That one share tonight could genuinely matter to somebody. Drop your city name in the comments and tell us what the sky looks like right now. Are you watching storm clouds building to the west, waking up to snow, or enjoying a perfect Easter weekend in Florida? We are reading all day, and we genuinely want to know where everybody is out there. Let's bring it all the way home. A squall line with 70 miles per hour straight line winds and embedded tornadoes racing through the mid-south tonight, all wrapped in heavy rain between midnight and 5 a.m. when most people are asleep. The after dark window tonight is the most dangerous part of this event. Near record rainfall rates of 1.8 inches per hour already recorded this week. A Climate Prediction Center high-risk designation for April 10th and 11th that almost never gets issued this far ahead. And another major storm setup already forming behind it for April 12th through 14th. This April is not taking a single day off. This is Tom. The overnight tornado window opens around midnight and does not close until Sunday morning. Keep your weather alerts on. Share this forecast with the folks you care about in the storm zones. And stay weather aware through Sunday afternoon. Set that alarm tonight.